Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? It's me, Comic Crack, here with a random act of kindness from Video Homicide. I got some stuff in the mail, some tapes, the newest issue of Gutter Hunter by Robin Bougie. Figured I'd talk about another YouTube channel. Just kind of throw a bunch of stuff into one video, but we're mainly here for Video Homicide. I got my bike helmet. I got one of the stickers he sent me in a prime place on the bike helmet there. So yeah, we'll talk about him and we'll show off some of those books too. Let's start with I've got a radio show on UMFM that I've been doing with the family for quite a while now, and every year I try to do a Halloween episode, and I was able to pre-record one this time. It aired last Saturday. I usually do a bunch of editing. This time I communicated with a spirit from another dimension to help me with putting this show together. So I usually go all out for these. It's a lot of fun to make these. It takes hours to put everything together, do some recordings, layer things, layer effects, blend all the pieces together. But it's always a blast to do them. I think I've done, I want to say 5 of these now. At some point, I would love to do next year. The plan is to do a cassette release because it's just an hour long. So I would love to do a limited run of tapes, maybe do some art with my son for the cover and with the kids, and kind of have like a limited amount of those dubbed. So you can go to umfm.com. The show title is Dead Air, is our channel, or sorry, our program. It's every Saturday on UMFM from 4 p.m. till 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to put the link. I didn't put the link in the description yet, so I'll put a link directly to this episode so you can listen to it. You can download it. We've also got week 1's special was me and the kids. They played most of the music. I think I threw in 1 or 2 songs, but they kind of took over for their sort of Halloweenish selection. So you can download a few of the episodes. I think 6 is the maximum. So once a new episode comes out, in this case, August 3rd, that one will vanish, and then you won't be able to have access to that one. So if you want to download some of the episodes, please do so. Have a listen to the nonsense that we do on our weekends as a family. Gore Vidal had also reached out to me yesterday in an email to share a live stream that was happening from this channel, Videomannen Gismo. And last night they had a stream. It was almost 3.5 hours. I think I caught maybe the last hour or so. Hour and a half. Top 10 Halloween horror from the 80s. They've got one coming up tomorrow. Top 10 Halloween horror from the 90s. It was a great conversation. The 80s one. There was a lot of great movies mentioned on their lists, and then there was some good conversation as well too. So that was excellent. Thank you very much to Gore Vidal for turning me on to this channel. I'm now subscribed, and I'll try to make it for this stream as well too. And I'm curious to kind of go through their stuff. They talk about, in that one video last night, they talked about a variety of films, not just kind of your usual suspects. They were talking about some other ones that kind of are a little more intense. Cannibal Holocaust, for example, was on the list for one of the guys. I think it might have been Gismo himself. So yeah, it was really great, really cool to see. And that kind of ties us right into Video Homicide. And I'll show his channel here. I don't expect there's going to be a lot of people in the afternoon. It's just, this is the time that I had to do the stream. So I'm sure you're all going to catch me on the replay. So this is Video Homicide. I'm never sure if people want their real names out there, so we'll just call him Video Homicide. For, I don't know, it's just, maybe it's the old guy in me. Maybe, I think because there was a time where people were really adamant against using their real names for the most part. So I don't want to put that out there if he's not cool with it. But he's got a link tree. He's got some amazing videos. He does live streams every once in a while too. But more importantly, He puts out a zine called Cinema 187 with some friends, including Cami, who those of you who have been around for a long time will know Cami from our little corner of YouTube. She used to do videos back in the day. She's still around on social media. I still follow her on social media. And then he also does a comic called Filthy Ralph, which we'll show you in 1 second. But recently he's been into trying to pick up the original Hate comics run, because he's been picking up the Hate Revisited as well. So a shout out there to my legions of fans. If anybody has a spare copy of issue number 1, I'm keeping my eye out for it here as well. If you've got a spare copy of issue number 1, get in touch with him, get in touch with me, send it our way so we can forward it on to him. He's having a problem finding that issue. Yeah, it's on my list to keep an eye out for when I'm out there. But honestly, even thinking back when I go to the bins and see some Hate comics, I don't know if I've ever seen issue number 1 recently. So, ooh, Video Nasty's Faces of Death, Video Nasty's SS Experiment Camp, yeah, Evil Speak. So a movie guy, a comic guy. I get the sense that he's originally more of a movie guy, and loves comics, but movies is where kind of he's come from. And also on his live stream sometimes is GPAP, Jean Paul Ace Peter, makes an appearance and hangs out with him on, I think Friday nights is when they do that. I sometimes catch that. I don't always, I can never stay for the whole thing because I'm an old man and I need my rest. Yeah, there you go. There's GPAP there in that one. And another friend of his, Retro or Die. I hear he's a huge Limp Bizkit fan. So yeah, there you go. So that's Video Homicide. Go and give him a follow and check out some of his videos. Let's have a look at what he was kind enough to send me. So you saw one of the stickers. It's a good thing I had a look in the package again, because these were buried in there and didn't kind of fall out when I pulled everything else out. So I love getting stickers. A couple of these, one went on my helmet. The rest of them are probably going to go on this filing cabinet because I don't have room on my laptop anymore for more stickers. But so that's great. I love getting stickers and actually seeing how well these turned out. I'm assuming, you can correct me if I'm wrong there, Video Homicide, that you printed these on your home printer, I'm guessing, or went somewhere and just printed them up, Staples or something. So that's cool. He said, he mentioned, we follow each other on Instagram as well too, and he mentioned, shoot me your address. I'd love to send you some stuff, which I'm always thankful for. I always say it's totally, it's not necessary. Don't go out of your way to send me free shit, but I will absolutely take free shit. And he sent me a nice big stack. I started looking through them already, and already I know that I love him because I've seen he's shown off a lot of stuff on his channel. He's got a really great style that works for me for sure. It's kind of, again, it balances that world of like underground, but it also is very graphic as well too. He was recently doing some, I think he's only done 2 pieces now, where he's using Posca markers and recreating these old kind of 50s Halloween masks, doing these drawings, and they're really great. I've got some Posca markers myself too, actually, and seeing that and seeing how the color sits on the page, they look really great. So this first one is called Rodney the Demon, and it looks like it's just photos of some graffiti that he's done around town. So this gives you a really good sense of like the colors that he leans towards and what his style is. I think it looks really great as graffiti pieces too, honestly. These kind of characters. So that's amazing to get that. Again, he puts all this stuff together himself. He hand staples, from what I understand, and trims himself. So this is a true kind of zine, modern day zine, which I am very familiar with growing up, especially in the circles that I've run in with noise and experimental music and grindcore and stuff. I loved getting zines. I've still got some of them in the drawers there. I've kept some things, but as it happens, time kind of, you end up losing a bunch of shit. He's got his solo comic, Filthy Ralph. He sent me 2 issues. I thought there was 3 and he was working on the 4th, but maybe I'm incorrect about that. There's at least 2. He's working on another one right now, I think is what he was saying this past weekend. So this is Filthy Ralph. Well, I mean, it does say his name on the back there, so we're gonna say he's okay with his name getting out there. So London, Ontario is where he's from. So shout out to Ricky, shout out to London, Ontario, the home of the Nihilist Spasm Band. When I lived out in Ontario, we made a trip into London a few times, twice to kind of sit in with the Spasm Band. They would do their regular Monday night hangouts, and sometimes they would, whoever was around, they would jam with them. So we brought some instruments. I think just the one time we went just to hang out with them and drink beer, and the other time we went and played with them. I've still got those recordings somewhere, but super nice guys. A buddy of mine, Josh, shout out to Josh in Kitchener-Waterloo. One of the guys in the Spasm Band was his high school teacher, I believe. So that was kind of our link to go and hang out with them and sit with them. So I've been to London, Ontario a few times. So that's Filthy Ralph number 1. And there's Filthy Ralph number 2. I love this cover. Again, like, this is the kind of art that really hits me in a different place. Like, I don't know. Again, it's going back to like junior high and high school. And especially in junior high, there was this guy who was in my class. And I remember I think he had a Venom back patch on his jean jacket. And I remember it being like a real thing of like, oh shit, what the hell is Venom? And it looked really evil and satanic and all these things. And he would draw all the time. And some of the insane things he would draw were just super appealing. So that kind of style really sits with me as something from my youth. And that's kind of what a lot of this stuff looks like to me. It has that feel of the kid in junior high and high school who's just sitting there drawing on their notebooks, drawing in other people's notebooks. So then there was 2 Filthy Ralph ones that I think collect. What does it say? Filthy Ralph Collected Strips Volume 1 and 2. So this is from 2023, and yeah, both of them are from 2023. So color covers on these ones, and I guess these are more short stories. Great back cover there too. So yeah, sweet. Yeah, these ones I haven't flipped through yet. I was looking through the couple of issues, the Cinema 187 and the Filthy Ralph, and some of the other things. Filthy Ralph and Death. Raid the 25-cent bins. Read more fucking comics. Yeah, nice. Shout out to Piscore, R.I.P., Kurtzman, Kirby, Crumb, Corbin, another Ricky P comic to make you vomit. That's awesome. So good. Yeah, thank you so much for this stuff. I was pretty excited to see this in the mail today. The Gutter Hunter and this came at the same time, so it's always good to get a bunch of shit in the mail at once. So this is volume 2 of the Filthy Ralph shorts here. I don't know what he has still available. I think he's also working on a new Cinema 187 as well. So you'll have to go to his channel and check it out. This one has kind of pinups with Filthy Ralph and various incredible movies, The Exorcist, Videodrome, etc. I think Hellraiser was in here too. Yeah, Demons. I remember Demons scared the shit out of me for some reason. Even the original box art with that demon with all the flesh dripping from its mouth. I remember that scaring the shit out of me when I was a kid. So growing up in elementary school, we had that's a really fucking good piece too, man. In elementary school, we would go to this woman's house for lunch. Mrs. Menrad was her name. And she also owned a video stop. Rasa, how's it going? She owned a video stop, which was near what eventually became my junior high. So not too far away. And man, like a lot of us of a certain age, like I remember going into that video store, and especially when I was deep into horror, pulling off VHS tapes and just renting stuff based on the box art and looking at stuff. I mean, I discovered so much. I mean, obviously the classics like Evil Dead and Reanimator and stuff were kind of ones, and Ghoulies, Critters. Those were a couple of other ones that I just really, really love. But like I said, that Demons box art always was fresh in my brain. And honestly, I think if my memory is right, I think that it was one of those that I just didn't rent for the longest time, because even that cover just made me really uneasy. I think big part of that movie, the ending, does it take place in a movie theater? It's been forever since I've seen it. But yeah, and that's kind of all of his stuff has all of that kind of encompassed in with the art. And then we get to Cinema 187 with his Robert Crumb Zap homage, which is really good, man. I want to say, did he do was there a color version that I saw on his channel? I seem to remember seeing this in color somewhere. I don't know if that's my imagination or if that's something that does exist. And speak of the devil, there you go. There's the Ghoulies right on the back cover coming up from the toilet. So this one, he works with a bunch of artists. Active Blob Fuel, I think, is one of them, whose name he's mentioned a few times. In Radioactive Blob Fuel and him, I think, switch on who does cover duties. So I think there's an issue where Ricky will do a cover and then Blob will do the back cover, and then the next issue they'll reverse. I think that's what he was saying when he was talking about this in one of his videos. So there's this, and then the rest. In this one, another one of my favorites, Fritz the Cat. I don't know how many times we watched this. Me and a couple of buddies of mine sitting around getting stoned and watching Fritz the Cat. And then you get some pinups. So Cammy is in here as well somewhere, but I'm afraid I don't know. I wish he was here to tell us. I don't know which contributor she is, because everybody doesn't use their own name. Cinema Sketchbook, Morbid Thrasher. Yeah, I apologize, Cammy, if you are seeing this. I don't know what your name is that you use in here, but I know that she has contributed to 187 as well too. But I mean, look at this shit. That's fucking amazing, man. Who's that one credit to? Cinema Sketchbook. I love that one. I love that. And this one, like I said, has a bit of a couple of articles. I think it also has a comic strip as well. And I think Retro or Die does a write-up. Maybe he did a comic as well with this somewhere. Radioactive Blob Fuel comic strip in this one, which is a bonus to see more of his art. Some old advertisements, Asian Shock. So super fun. Really does an amazing job of kind of recreating this era of zines. Really, really good stuff. Holy shit, this one's really thick. So this is Cinema 187 Video Nasties Special, issue number 4. It feels like it's double-sized. And there's the back cover on that one. I believe it's all the same. Oh, way more contributors in this one. So let's hold that up. Don't know if you can see that very well, but there's your list of contributors there. I'm assuming it's all of their social media handles. I'm guessing Instagram. I'll punch some of those out into the computer at some point and search some of these people up. Man, this one looks fantastic. This one I haven't gone through either, but I love an idea of pinups relating to classic horror and schlocky filth. It's so great, man. So great. Yeah, so I won't show every page in that one. And then the last two that he sent me, Macaroni and Dope, Raise the Dead, volume 666. I think this might be a solo issue here. Let's have a look inside. Yes, it is. So Raise the Dead, issue 6, Macaroni and Dope. Printed in London, Ontario, 2024. There you go, Rasa. Filthy Ralph and TMNT. Cowabunga, dude. Yeah, it looks like more kind of pinups and and things in this one. A Wolverine there. Filthy Ralph is doing some cosplay. And finally, Blood Drunk. Hello, Maudit Part. Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, that's great. Thanks very much for tuning in. I appreciate seeing your comments every week on the Sunday wrap as well. Yeah, very nice. It's good stuff. And there's the back cover to Blood Drunk. This one I think is a silent issue. Also came out this year. There you go. Yeah, so this one is Filthy Ralph versus some sort of ninja or samurai. I tell you, man, his style does seem to be progressing too. It's amazing. Really, really nice stuff, Ricky. Thank you so much for the gigantic package of zines. I'm absolutely going to be digging into these for a little while. Yes, if anybody is going to know what I'm talking about with Nihilist Spasm Band, it's you, Maudit. Thank you very much. Yeah, that one is for you and me only, that story, because I don't know if anybody else watching this. Well, maybe some of the K-Vivo guys, if they tune into something here, they would know about Nihilist Spasm Band. So to kind of, actually, let's do this one first. So I'm a huge fan, and I have been a huge fan of Robin Bougie for the longest time. So Cinema Sewer was his series that he was doing for I don't even know how many years. I remember when I was living in Ontario, a friend of mine, Paul, shout out to Paul in Kitchener-Waterloo, we would get together. We tried to get together once a week to sit and have some drinks and watch movies. We would do things, I've talked about him before on the channel, like we would do things like watch an entire director's career, one movie a week, right from the beginning of their career. We did that with Cronenberg, for example, watching all of his movies. But he's the one who originally turned me on to Cinema Sewer. I don't know how he found out about Bougie, and I don't remember what issue that would have been, but that would have been early 2000s. So Robin has been going strong for a long fucking time. Cinema Sewer is now done, has been done for a few years through Fab Press. Looks like volume 8. So it looks like there was 8 volumes where he collected all of his Cinema Sewer issues. I've got most of them, minus like maybe the first few, because they're impossible to find. But then he started offering like a subscription service. I was subscribed to it as well for a while. And then Cinema Sewer eventually came to, it was just once a year he would put together an issue. And I don't think there was subscription services at that time. So it looks like 34 was the final one. And it's great. And again, it really fits in with what we've been talking about so far. Cinema Sewer, he focused on exploitation, a lot on like old porn movies, and all sorts of things. He would hand letter his entire issue, which is why I think eventually it came to taking him a year to kind of get things together. And then he also did some other stuff, Sugar Spread, Sleazy Slice. I think all the Sleazy Slice was collected into a hardcover as well. But currently he's doing something called Gutter Hunter. There's 3 issues out so far. And it's his dive into the long boxes of older comics and focusing on all sorts of comics. So I didn't realize that I had missed issue number 3. And they were talking about it on Living the Line. I think Carson was talking about it, and that cued me into kind of grabbing myself a copy. He was kind enough to sign the cover for me too. Good old Robin. He always sends a couple of extra things as well, to a nudie playing card. And I won't dox him, but he's always got a little image, that sticker that he puts on the front as his return mailing address. And for some reason, I've saved those over the years. I've got a few of them. I think one might be stuck onto the filing cabinet. Ron Rearson, hello. Recently discovered your channel. Cool to see Cinema Sewer recognized. That's awesome. I'm glad you know it. I think it's it was a great zine. Maybe one day we'll go through the Robin Bougie aisle of my underground comics drawer. So I haven't looked through this yet. I don't know what's inside. Like I said, it just got here this afternoon, but he puts together a thick volume of amazing content. And just to give you a taste of, that's not him. So sometimes even in Cinema Sewer, he would have contributors as well too. But you can see there a sample of his art. This is from the inside back cover, but you can see there the text. I'm assuming he's still hand lettering everything. I don't know if he's gone the way of creating his own font, because there's so many programs out there where you can hand draw and scan it back into your computer and it'll create a font for you. I think that he is still hand lettering all of his stuff. Let me know if I'm wrong about that and he's kind of changed that. I'd be surprised if he did, but anything is possible. So fair warning, get your kids around the computer. I don't know if there's going to be nudity and stuff in here. Classically in Cinema Sewer, there was a ton of it. Hookjaw, an article on Hookjaw. The Cat, an article on the Cat. So anyway, he'll have contributors sometimes as well, and he'll sometimes do things like have comic strips in it. All right. Some Gru, that's pretty great. So it's a really good magazine comic. Oh, look at this. Scott fucking Russo from Jizz. That's pretty cool. Sam Henderson and Scott Russo. Ancient indie comic drama. Oh boy. Comics people beefing or pranking one another is nothing unusual. We have a long history of such nonsense among our ranks, but one incident from 1991 is noteworthy and memorable, if only because of how the fallout from it was documented in comics form by Scott Russo and Jeff Wong in Jizz #9. Well, shit, I've never did finish reading the Jizz series, but I've got the whole run there of Scott Russo's fucking comics. So that's cool. So there you go. The newest issue of Gutter Hunter. There's links for Gutter Hunter in the description. There's links to Video Homicide, and then there's links to the music that we'll talk about. So the tapes that came in the mail, no surprise. I don't think I opened a channel for this. Let's do that. Bandcamp. One of my favorite Bandcamp. Let's see here. Music. One of my favorite Bandcamp accounts is Heimat der Katastrophe. And I've talked about them a bunch of times, but we can always talk about them again. So here's their Bandcamp page. They do kind of limited runs, put out on cassette. Everything again is offered digitally. They do kind of these releases. You can subscribe and be the first to kind of be able to buy some of these limited edition tapes. At this point, I've got quite a few stuff. Teeth of Glass is the artist that I have that Heimat is specifically turned me on to. But here's their page where you can see all the stuff they've released. And then at the top, you can also go to stuff to see what's still available. Their shit sells out fast. So because we're in between drops, I guess, there's probably not a lot available. Oh, there's a few things here. So there you go. So they still do have some physical copies. But again, you can buy all of this stuff digitally. Here's a Teeth of Glass album. This is one of the ones that I bought this time, I think, actually here. So we'll have a look at that. I'll make sure that I put a link to their channel in the description as well, because I don't think I did. Also, thanks for the recommendations on the AI Demonian Abyss DVD. I think I came across your channel from a Damon Packard rabbit hole. DVD Party has some real gems. Yes, you probably did find my channel through that, because I know DVD Party very well. Been buying from DVD Party under other iterations in the past as well too. So that's great. That would make sense that you would find me through that rabbit hole. So Heimat, their Katastrophe, they do some incredible stuff. It's a lot of synth-based music. They dig into the world of dungeon synth, but they also do stuff that's very kind of soundtrack oriented as well too. And they do an amazing job on the tapes themselves, and oftentimes they come with a little bit of a history. This one specifically, this Milano, was apparently a tape that they found when they were going thrift shopping, and took them a long time to locate the artist who was responsible for that mysterious mixtape filled with their own original recordings. And apparently they made a deal with him and put this album out. This is one that I haven't listened to the whole thing of, that I'm looking forward to it. Now, with some of this stuff, I can never really tell if it's a load of bullshit to kind of dress up the incredible music, or if it is true. I just don't know, but I'm okay with not knowing if it's true or not. I take it as true, and I just give them the benefit of the doubt and try not to think about it too much, because I do feel like a good story around some of this music just adds to the overall experience of the album. So yeah, so those are 3 that you can check out on Heimat. They do a really, really nice job on the tapes. I love having the cassettes. And the last one that we'll look at before we call it a day is Deathbed tapes. So this is kind of more, leans more towards noise and experimental music, a little more abstract. They do have some synth-based stuff as well, but the graphics caught my attention. There's a Deathbed tapes sticker that's currently on my laptop because I was able to cut it out enough and find a spot for it. But I mean, just look at these covers here. So Vomir, an infamous noise guy, I think from France. Maurizio Bianchi, this is one of the ones that I got. That's a name I've known for a long time. K2, I think, are K2 Japanese. Black Mountain Transmitter, so fucking good. Who else? Igor Cavalera and Vomir. So Igor Cavalera, ex Sepultura, who got into kind of the noise scene. The little bit that I've heard, I haven't heard a lot of it, and I haven't heard this album with Vomir. I wasn't as crazy about, but that said, I haven't heard enough of it. What other names jump out at me from here? Cromlech, something Vile, Controlled Death again, Primitive Knot. Yeah, so a whole bunch of artists on here. I don't think, oh, Masana, they even did a Masana release. That's insane. Yeah, so there you go. Have a look at that. And again, you can get this shit digitally. I happen to score myself a couple of tapes. One, again, that really fits in with what we're talking about today, video nasties and shit. It comes in a VHS clamshell, Horror Rises from the Tomb. And this is Controlled Death on one side and Black Mountain Transmitter on the other side, each taking up around 15 minutes of noisescapes, soundscapes, all sorts of things. Really great. You get the cassette, which is kind of bagged, and then you also get, how can you go wrong with a barf bag, a printed barf bag, just in case you find yourself nauseous. I did one of the bands, I guess, that I had done, a little solo project called Repulsive Bile. The first release that I did, I actually bought a bunch of vomit bags as well too, and shoved stickers and the release in there, and sold those. I don't know how many I did. I think I've still got one copy for myself, but I don't think those are very, very much out there in the ether. So Horror Rises from the Tomb. And then I got Shadow Killer, which is a compilation, actually, of a bunch of different artists. And again, really nice, very, very basic labels on this, but I think it fits well. And then there's the list there, far too small. I think Black Mountain Transmitter's on this release as well, too. Yes, they are, or yes, he is rather, because I think it's just a one person, and then a bunch of names that I have never heard before. So I've sampled a bunch of this. I haven't listened to the whole tape, but there's a lot of good things on here. I think there's 1 or 2 tracks from this that make it to the Halloween special on Dead Air there. So you'll get to hear some of it. And then I got the Maurizio Bianchi and Adriano Vincenti, I think is how you pronounce those names. So they're split tape where they each kind of take turns doing some tracks. Another one that I haven't listened to yet that I'm looking forward to now that Halloween is getting ever closer. These will probably get played while I'm reading down here because most of this stuff I think is all instrumental. So there's your layout inside. They're really, really great. It wasn't a tape label that I had heard of before. I don't know how I got turned onto it. Not really sure. Maybe it was looking into Black Mountain Transmitter stuff and seeing that he's done stuff with them. So pretty great. I just need a better tape deck. Thinking of trying to get something that I can put up on top of the shelf that you can't see and maybe mounting the speakers there so I can have it kind of accessible at all times. Anyway, that's it. Any other links that I didn't talk about? Deathbed tapes, Cinema Sewer, Video Homicide. Yes, I think I got everything. And again, all the links will be in the description of the video. If there's something that caught your attention, go and check them out. Support independent artists. Support Video Homicide in his kind of one-man comics and his group anthology, Cinema 187. Make comics yourself, make noise. It's always fun to kind of show off this stuff to you all, and I hope that some of it is interesting and you go out and support these people. Right on, everybody. Thanks very much for joining me. Rasa, good to see you. Maudit Part, good to see you. Ron Rearson, good to see you as well. Thank you very much, Rasa. I will. And we will talk to you soon. All right, later.